Spider-Man: Brand New Day beats Avengers Endgame. Record-breaking $360 million opening, explained, warning. Before we begin, this video contains minor spoilers for Spider-Man: Brand New Day and discusses its record-breaking box office performance. And one important clarification. When people say Brand New Day beat Avengers Endgame, they're talking about its domestic opening weekend, not total lifetime box office. Avengers Endgame still remains one of the highest-grossing films ever worldwide and holds numerous historic records. With that said, let's get started. When Spider-Man: Brand New Day was first announced, many fans expected another successful Marvel movie. Few expected history, but that's exactly what happened. In just 3 days, Tom Holland's latest Spider-Man adventure reportedly earned an astonishing $360 million domestic opening weekend. Not only is that one of the biggest debuts in movie history, it officially surpassed Avengers Endgame's previous domestic opening weekend record of $357.1 million. For 7 years, many believed Endgame's opening record would never be broken. It was the culmination of more than 20 Marvel films, the finale to the Infinity Saga, a once-in-a-generation cinematic event. Yet somehow, a neighborhood superhero in a red and blue suit managed to swing past Earth's mightiest heroes. So, how did Brand New Day pull it off? Let's break it all down. The historic record. Let's begin with the numbers. According to the latest box office reports, Spider-Man: Brand New Day opened to approximately $360 million domestically, making it the biggest domestic opening weekend in box office history. It edged past Avengers Endgame's previous benchmark of $357.1 million. That's an incredible achievement. For years, only 2 films had ever crossed the $300 million mark during a domestic opening weekend. First, Avengers Endgame. Now, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. But here's something important to remember. This record applies specifically to the domestic opening weekend. Globally, Endgame still achieved a much larger opening, launching with over $1.2 billion worldwide in 2019. So, Spider-Man hasn't rewritten every record, but breaking Endgame's domestic opening is still an extraordinary milestone. Why did Brand New Day open so big? Box office records don't happen by accident. Several factors came together at exactly the right moment. The first is Tom Holland. Over nearly a decade, Holland has become one of the MCU's most beloved stars. Audiences have literally watched Peter Parker grow from an eager teenager in Captain America: Civil War into a hero carrying the emotional weight of the entire Marvel Universe. That long-term connection matters. Fans weren't simply buying tickets for another superhero movie, they were returning to a character they've grown up with. The second reason was curiosity. After No Way Home erased the world's memory of Peter Parker, everyone wanted to know what came next. Would Peter finally stand alone? Would the movie return to a smaller, more personal story? Or would it connect directly to the future of the MCU? Those questions created enormous anticipation months before release. Then came something every blockbuster hopes for: positive word of mouth. Opening night audiences flooded social media with reactions. Instead of spoilers dominating the conversation, people focused on the film's emotional storytelling, character development, and fresh direction. That kind of excitement encouraged casual moviegoers to buy tickets immediately instead of waiting another week. Strong first impressions often turn into massive weekends, and that's exactly what happened here. Did reviews make a difference? Absolutely. While superhero films can succeed without critical acclaim, strong reviews almost always help sustain momentum. Brand New Day earned praise for balancing spectacular action with a more grounded, character-focused story, with many critics highlighting its emotional depth after the multiverse-heavy events of previous films. Audiences also responded enthusiastically. When both critics and fans agree, something unusual happens. People who normally skip opening weekend begin rushing to theaters. Instead of wondering, is it worth seeing? The conversation becomes, I don't want to miss it. That's a huge difference. Why fans came back? Another major reason behind the enormous opening was the movie itself. Marvel didn't simply repeat the formula. Instead, it offered something audiences had been asking for: a more grounded Spider-Man story. Peter Parker standing on his own. No billionaire mentor. No world-ending multiverse crisis dominating every scene. Just Peter, trying to rebuild his life after everyone forgot who he was. That emotional reset resonated with longtime fans. The action also received enormous praise. Instead of relying entirely on CGI spectacle, many viewers highlighted the practical feel of several fight sequences. The emotional stakes felt personal. Every victory mattered. Every decision carried consequences. Combined with Tom Holland's performance, the film reminded audiences why Spider-Man remains Marvel's most relatable hero. Another factor can't be ignored: repeat viewership. Marvel fans are famous for watching major releases more than once. Some return to spot hidden details. Others bring friends and family. Others simply enjoy the experience again. When millions of fans decide to see the movie twice during opening weekend, the numbers grow incredibly quickly. How does it compare to Endgame? Now let's compare the two films. On the surface, Spider-Man now owns the largest domestic opening weekend, but that's only one category. Avengers Endgame remains one of the most successful movies ever made. Its worldwide opening exceeded $1.2 billion. It crossed $1 billion globally in just 5 days. And it eventually became one of the highest-grossing films in cinema history. Brand New Day hasn't matched those lifetime achievements, at least not yet. What it has done is prove that Spider-Man alone can generate opening weekend excitement once reserved for giant crossover events. That's remarkable, because Endgame featured nearly every major Marvel hero. Brand New Day achieved this with Spider-Man leading the charge. There's another interesting comparison. Spider-Man No Way Home opened with approximately $260 million domestically. That was already considered almost impossible during the pandemic era. Now, Brand New Day has pushed that number close to $100 million higher. That's an enormous jump. It shows that audience enthusiasm for Spider-Man hasn't faded. If anything, it's become even stronger. What happens next? Now comes the biggest question. Can Brand New Day keep this momentum? The early signs are extremely encouraging. The film has already crossed $1 billion worldwide in just 6 days, becoming the second fastest movie ever to reach that milestone, behind only Avengers Endgame. If strong word of mouth continues, it could become one of Sony's biggest Spider-Man films ever. And its success sends an important message. Spider-Man remains one of the most valuable characters in modern cinema. That gives Marvel Studios and Sony tremendous confidence moving forward. It strengthens the future of Spider-Man 5. It raises expectations for Spider-Man's role in future Avengers films. And it proves audiences are still eager for stories centered around Peter Parker. Perhaps the most surprising lesson from all of this is that audiences didn't simply want bigger spectacle. They wanted a meaningful Spider-Man story, one built around character, emotion, and consequences. Marvel delivered that, and the box office rewarded it. Final thoughts. So, how did Spider-Man Brand New Day beat Avengers Endgame? Not by surpassing its total box office, not by replacing it as Marvel's biggest film overall, but by accomplishing something almost everyone believed was impossible. It delivered the biggest domestic opening weekend in box office history. That's a record few thought would ever fall. Combined with glowing audience reactions, a beloved lead actor, strong word of mouth, and a fresh direction for Peter Parker, the result was nothing short of historic. Whether Brand New Day can continue this momentum for weeks or even challenge more all-time records remains to be seen. But one thing is already certain. Spider-Man has once again proven why he's one of the biggest superheroes the world has ever known. So, what do you think? Can Spider-Man Brand New Day eventually challenge Avengers Endgame's biggest lifetime achievements? Or will Endgame continue to stand alone as Marvel's greatest box office phenomenon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Marvel news, box office analysis, hidden details, and superhero explained videos.